Close your eyes for a moment. Picture a jar of white powder. Now picture the person who uses it. Who do you see? You probably see a bodybuilder. Someone shouting in a gym, lifting heavy iron, veins popping out, obsessed with getting bigger biceps. For decades, this white powder has been the king of the locker room. It has been labeled as muscle fuel. But what if I told you that we have been looking at this supplement all wrong? What if the greatest benefit of this powder isn't for the muscles on your arms, but for the muscle inside your skull? Welcome back to part 3 of our Neuroscience Basics series, Key Ingredients. We have fixed your sleep with magnesium, built your neurons with omega-3s, and sparked the engine with vitamin B. Now we are going to upgrade the battery capacity of your brain. We are exploring Topic 30, Creatine for Cognitive Function. Yes, creatine, the gym bro supplement. It turns out it might be the most underrated smart drug, or nootropic in the world. To understand why, we have to go back to basic biology. We need to talk about energy. In part 2, we discussed ATP adenosine triphosphate. This is the energy currency of life. Every time your heart beats, every time you flex a muscle, and every time a neuron fires a signal, you spend ATP. The problem is you only have a tiny amount of ATP stored in your cells. It runs out in seconds. When you sprint, or when you think really hard to solve a complex math problem, you burn through your cash reserves instantly. When ATP is used, it loses a phosphate molecule and becomes ADP, adenosine diphosphate. ADP is like a dead battery. It is useless. To keep going, your body needs to quickly recharge that dead battery back into ATP. This is where creatine comes in. Creatine is stored in your body as phosphocreatine. Think of it as a backup power bank. When your ATP runs out, creatine rushes in and donates its phosphate molecule to the dead ADP. Boom. It instantly recharges it back to ATP. It recycles your energy. Now, why does this matter for the brain? Your brain is the most energy-demanding organ you possess. It weighs only 2% of your body weight, but devours 20% of your energy. And unlike your muscles, your brain never rests. It is constantly firing. When you are doing difficult mental work like studying for an exam, coding software, or managing a crisis, your neurons are firing rapidly. They are burning ATP at a furious rate. If they run out of energy, they stall. You lose focus. You get brain fog. You make mistakes. By supplementing with creatine, you are essentially increasing the size of your brain's backup battery. You are giving your neurons a larger reservoir of immediate energy. The research on this is fascinating. Studies have shown that creatine supplementation significantly improves short-term memory and intelligence reasoning. But here is the interesting nuance. It works best when the brain is under stress. If you are well-rested and doing easy tasks, you might not feel a huge difference. But if you are sleep-deprived, if you are mentally exhausted, if you are trying to solve a puzzle under time pressure, that is when creatine shines. It prevents cognitive fatigue. It keeps the lights on when the power grid is starting to fail. There is another specific group of people who see massive benefits, vegetarians and vegans. Since creatine is found naturally in red meat and fish, people who don't eat meat often have lower baseline levels of creatine in their brains. Studies have shown that when vegetarians take creatine supplements, their memory and processing speed improve significantly more than meat eaters, simply because they are filling a deficiency. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The myths. Doesn't creatine destroy your kidneys? This is one of the most persistent myths in nutrition history. It stems from a misunderstanding of blood tests. When you take creatine, a waste product called creatinine increases in your blood. Doctors use creatinine as a marker for kidney failure. However, in this case, it's a false alarm. It's just a harmless byproduct of the supplement. For healthy individuals, hundreds of studies have proven that creatine is safe. Doesn't it cause bloating? Creatine pulls water into your cells. This is actually a good thing. A hydrated cell is a healthy cell. While you might gain a little water weight, it is mostly stored inside the muscle tissue, not under the skin. So, how do you use it? It is remarkably simple. You don't need to cycle it. You don't need to do a loading phase where you take massive amounts. Just take 5 grams of creatine monohydrate every day. That's it. It is cheap, it is tasteless, and it is effective. You can mix it in your water, your coffee, or your smoothie. By taking creatine, you are not just preparing your body for a workout. You are preparing your mind for the marathon of modern life. You are ensuring that when you need to think fast, Your brain has the fuel to respond. We have now maximized the brain's energy reserves. The battery is fully charged, but energy is useless if it cannot get to where it needs to go. The brain needs a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients, delivered by the blood. There is an ancient tree, the oldest living tree species on the planet, whose leaves have been used for centuries to improve circulation. But does it actually work for memory, or is it just a placebo? In our next episode, we are going to separate folklore from science. We will move to Part 3, Topic 31, Ginkgo biloba, Myths and Facts. We will investigate if this ancient leaf can truly sharpen your mind. For today, consider the white powder. It's not just for the gym bros, it's for the thinkers too. Thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next video.